this resource comes to fruition, it really is a celebration of what you've tried to do and what you have done over a long period of time in your ministry. You've trained dozens and dozens and dozens of men for pastoral ministry. And so why don't you just share some wisdom about how do you identify and then even begin to train other pastors and leaders?
Yeah, so Charles Bridges talks about in his book, The Christian Ministry, the internal and the external call. And I think that's the place to start when you want to think about this. And of course, Spurgeon and others picked it up, but I learned it from Bridges. I think it's where it originally came from. The internal call is that desire within a man would have to pursue ministry. The external call is outside of him. It's external. So there's people outside of him that somehow play a role in affirming that they should go be a pastor or a missionary or whatever. And I would say that much of training guys in the local church is about helping someone see they need to have an internal call, and that has to come from God. That's a desire within them, but they have to submit themselves to the leaders of the church, the congregation, to be able to see them minister and see their gifts. So you have to start there. And then I find, as far as raising guys up in the local church, looking for gifts, looking for character, looking for those two sides and seeing if God's uniquely at work in somebody. But I will say that the longer I've done this, the two things that I put most stock in is humility and teachability, more so than giftedness, because I've met a lot of really gifted, arrogant guys that want to go be pastors. And give me the roughest guy on the planet. If he loves Jesus and loves his word and is humble and wants to learn, I'll take that guy and train him 10 out of 10 times.
See, the exact same thing. You have guys who are more gifted than they think they are. And sometimes it's about confidence for them and encouraging them along that path and giving them opportunities to see the Lord use their gifts. But then you see the other side of that, guys who are not as gifted as they think they are. And it's about giving them the opportunity to see the reality of a calling, something that's given to us by the Lord, and it's really His. We're just stewards of it. And sometimes in that group, those guys, I would try to give them a task that is not something they would want to do.
Right.
An undesirable task. And so guy comes and he thinks he wants to preach on Sunday mornings, or he thinks he wants to have some great responsibility, and you give him a responsibility to serve in a way that's going to be unseen and unappreciated, and just see how he responds to it.
Well, and I went to our church, and I had cleaned the bathrooms the first 3 years because everybody's too old to be able to clean the bathrooms. Yeah. And the bathrooms were disgusting. Yeah. It's a bad way to get people to come to your church if your bathroom's really disgusting. Yes. So I preached and I cleaned the bathrooms for 3 years. By the way, not with a good attitude some of the time, I'll have you know, Lord. But God really taught me that I need to be willing to serve whatever. So when we started an internship, I started training guys. I didn't do it towards the end, but the first several years when it started, the first thing I'd do is I'd take them into the bathroom, show them how to clean a bathroom. And they're like, what are we doing? It's like, this is it. So it's it. Get them to do those tasks, to serve Jesus in those ways before they're ready to step into the pulpit. But I have to say, one of the great joys of training guys in the church is seeing guys come in. They say they have a call, but their family's a wreck, or they're not ready. They have not honed their gifts and calling in that way. Just to be a part of it, just to put them in, make them go see the widows, make them go to the hospitals, give them chances to preach, and see God just develop them, the Spirit just working, because He's got a call in his life. He just wasn't ready. Man, to be a part of sending those guys out, there's few joys that I experienced as a pastor in the local church. Have you had that same experience?
Yeah, what a great gift it is for the Lord to bring fruit for a man's ministry. You had some small piece of encouraging him along the way is a great gift of what we get to do.